The number of destroyed houses exceeded the 435,000 houses. The destroyed health facilities, 332. Most of the main hospitals have been bombed and burned. Healthcare professionals exceeded 371 have been killed. Now we go to the infectious diseases. It's more than 1 million cases that have been diagnosed to have an infectious disease like hepatitis, meningitis, skin rashes, lice, scabies, typhoid, and the important note, the diagnosis have been based not on lab tests, it have been based on the symptoms. Why? Because there's no labs, there's no hospitals, there's only doctors who are working in field hospitals that have limited access to tools. Now, going to the environmental aspect of this statistics, the water system in Gaza City, we have 42,000 linear meters of water networks have been bombed with 40 wells. Also, the wastewater pipelines, around 30,000 linear meters have been destroyed, and 9 wastewater treatment plants also have been destroyed. The streets inside the Gaza City, around 1 million meters, have been also destroyed. Now, the organizations that are trying to organize with the aid and trying to fix the situation, at least to the minimum, international organizations like the WHO, the World Food Organization, Oxfam, and the United Nations, also the Emergency Committee of the municipalities and the coastal municipality of the water utility. Now, what is the objective of this research? What made me do this research is that in the first 2 months, the AIDS, everyone knows that there are AIDS sent to Gaza. Among these medical aids was COVID-19 rapid test. COVID-19 rapid test is not really essential in this stage, but we have more serious problems like the infectious diseases that are spreading. So in the world, usually there's a lot of rapid tests for these infectious diseases, and they are biosensors. And here we come to the objective to analyze the humanitarian crisis and the pollution in the Gaza Strip and insist on the need of the biosensor technology in war settings in general and in Gaza in particular. The methodology is based on collecting data from international and national organizations and analyze this data to emphasize on the need of the biosensor technology for the use in the Gaza Strip to at least find a solution for the environmental and the health problem in the Gaza Strip. Talking about the water sources in Gaza before talking about the water crisis, Gaza Strip depend mainly on 3 resources. The first one is the groundwater, with 97% designated as contaminated. Also we have desalination plants, brackish and seawater desalination plants. In the war, all of them are shut down, either destroyed or there is no fuel to run these desalination plants. Only one seawater desalination plant in Rafah is working, but at least for, let's say, for 2 hours a day, because there is no fuel. Also, the third one is the Mikorot. The Mikorot are pipelines from the inside of the occupied lands and controlled completely by Israel. 2 of the pipelines have been closed from the first 2 days of the war, and only one is working with a limited capacity. Now, talking about the water crisis, before the war, the use of water in Gaza Strip had been 80 liters per person per day, but within the war, we are saying they only have access to 1.5 to 2 liters per day. This includes drinking and hygiene purposes. Now, when we go to the recommended amount in emergency settings, it must be at minimum 15 liters per day. And for survival, it's a minimum of 3 liters per day. From here comes the issue of the infectious diseases. There's not enough water for safe water for drinking, and the water they get it from the seawater for bath and for cleaning. So it interrupts all the diseases. Now, the food crisis in the Gaza Strip, all you know that the borders between Gaza and the world are closed. No food, no fuel, nothing. So in the first 6 months, 90% of children aged 6 to 23 have severe malnutrition. 3% of the people, they have severe wasting. And statistics have said that in 1 month, there's around 677,000 cases have been diagnosed as IBC5, the highest level of famine. And they are expecting that until the mid of July, more than 1 million will be also have the problem with the IBC5, and this is a critical stage. Now, the environmental impact of the war, starting with the air pollution, around 281,000 tons of GHG have been released in the Gaza Strip war, only in the first 2 months. Not the 6 months, not the 9 months until now, only in the first 2 months. Most of it comes from the aerial bombardment. Now, talking about the West, within the first 6 months, 37 million tons of debris from bombing the houses, including 7,500 tons of unexploded ordnance, which make the process of removing this debris is very dangerous process. And the United Nations spokesman said that removing that amount of debris will need around 14 years. It's not easy. And for the solid waste, there's around 270,000 tons of solid waste that's accumulating in the streets and in front of the hospitals and the displacement camps of the people. For the wastewater, in the first 6 months, it's estimated that around 18 billion of wastewater have been discharged to the sea and to the streets of Gaza. In these photos, you can see the waste that's accumulating in front of the emergency room, near the people's displacement camps, wastewater here and there and everywhere. This is the example of unexploded ordnance. That, by the way, is the F-16 bomb, the small one, not the big one. And this is the picture of my neighborhood. Now, when you talk about the biosensors, everyone in the world after the eruption of the COVID-19 they know how to use the COVID-19 rapid tests. It's an easy to use biosensors. They are not expensive and they are accessible to everyone. So let's talk about the challenges and the consideration if you want to apply these technologies in Gaza and any other war-setting area. The first thing is the infrastructure. War means that the infrastructure is bad, destroyed. No electricity, no proper streets. So the best thing is to use biosensors that do not rely on on electricity, or at least there is solar energy that can be provided. Also, the limitations of vital resources with the borders closed completely or partially, where the solution can be by the high coordination with international organizations to allow this kind of technology to access to Gaza. Also, the pressure on the healthcare system. Many of the doctors have been killed, many of the nurses have been killed or taken. So for the fresh graduates, a quick capacity building, because it's so easy to use a rapid test for the utilization, upkeep, and the analysis of outcomes will solve this problem. Education and awareness for everyone. Education campaigns can be sufficient, and for collaboration and partnerships with local and international organizations. And the last one is the environmental factors, because the weather in Gaza is humid, so they need a proper storage. And I think this is the last point. No ringing again. Now, these are the references, and thank you. Terima kasih.
During the presentation, now we come to a Q&A.